Hi, boys and girls. Chapter 8 of Bug Brother. We're getting to the end of the book here. Today's chapter is called Something Incredible. I want you to take a minute. Last chapter we read, Mom and Dad suddenly came home. Do you think they're going to find out about Harry? Or do you think that Jamie will be able to change Harry back from a blue bottle into his little brother before his parents find out? Take a second and make a prediction. Okay, here we go. Something incredible. I looked at Rima. It's my parents. We can't let them in. If they see Aunt Nora and Harry, it'll ruin their anniversary, interrupted Rima. I'll just have to keep them talking while you change everyone back. But be quick, won't you? I'll be like lightning, only faster. Harry was skimming around excitedly. You could tell he was really eager to see Mom and Dad. Harry, you can't see them right now, I said. They won't recognize you anyhow. So go on upstairs to your room and I'll come up in a minute. But Harry continued whizzing around the hall. I knew I'd never be able to catch him, and he knew that too. Then Dad called through the mail slot. Hello, we've forgotten our key. Is anyone here? Or should we just pop around back? That made me and Rima spring into the air with horror. They couldn't go around back. They'd spot Aunt Nora right away. Well, you couldn't exactly miss her. I looked up at Harry. Harry, trust me and go up to your bedroom now, please. Harry stopped. He seemed to be considering what I'd just said. Then he gave a buzz as if to say, Don't be long, and slowly flew upstairs. Thanks, Harry, I won't let you down, I whispered as I opened the front door. At last, said Mom. But she was smiling. Both she and Dad seemed to be in an exceptionally good mood. Mom was carrying an enormous bunch of flowers. Have you been behaving yourself for Aunt Nora? She asked. Oh, yes, I said. She's in the backyard. I'll go and get her for you. It's all right. I'll come with you, began Mom. But Rima suddenly yelled, Oh, what lovely flowers! Both Mom and Dad stepped back in alarm. Oh, may I please hold them, please? Rima continued. Yes, all right, dear, said Mom, looking startled. Oh, aren't they beautiful? Gushed Rima. Now you must tell me what each flower is called. I zoomed off into the kitchen and flicked some water onto my cape, and then I charged into the backyard. Aunt Nora was still quietly fishing. I grabbed hold of the cape and wished, Number 7, please turn Aunt Nora back into her normal self again. At first, nothing happened. I began to count softly to myself. I'd reached 7 when the garden gnome shot up into the air like a rocket. The next moment it had vanished, and there was Aunt Nora sitting on the grass. She rubbed her eyes and then looked up at me. Here's Rima talking to Mom and Dad and asking about the flowers to try to distract them. And there's Aunt Nora the garden gnome fishing. But how extraordinary. I must have dozed off for a minute, she stretched. Mom and Dad are back, Aunt Nora. Are they? Right. Aunt Nora sprang to her feet. That little nap's done me a power of good. She walked so quickly into the house, I had to run to keep up with her. Mom and Dad were still trapped in the doorway thanks to Rima. She was saying, I know you told me before, but what's this lovely flower called again? Then Mom spotted Aunt Nora. She rushed forward. There you are, dear. Is everything all right? Oh, yes, splendid, said Aunt Nora, beaming. I've never felt better. I gave Rima a quick grin and then flew upstairs. I looked all around Harry's bedroom and couldn't see him anywhere. My window was slightly ajar. Had he flown away again? Then I spied him. He was walking upside down along the ceiling. You'd never have guessed he'd be the only blue bottle for... You'd never have guessed he'd only been a blue bottle for an afternoon. I thought then, If Bluebottles ever hold athletic competitions, I bet my brother could win every prize. And I felt a flicker of jealousy, which I quickly brushed away, especially as Harry seemed so pleased to see me. He flew around me, buzzing happily. Harry, I'm going to change you back right now. I gripped hold of the cape and said, Number 7, please turn Harry back to his normal shape. And after a couple of seconds, Harry's wings began to quiver. Don't panic, I said. The magic takes 7 seconds. I've timed it. And sure enough, on the 7th second, the Bluebottle whizzed right up to the ceiling. The next moment, it had disappeared, and there, curled up on the bed, was the familiar shape of my brother. His eyes were shut, and then they sprang open. He sat up, staring all around him. I've been dreaming, he said in this funny, blurred voice. A really weird dream. He was quivering like a bowl of pudding. Are you all right? I asked. Yeah, of course I am, he said fiercely. Then he flopped down into the bed again. Mom and Dad are back, I said. He didn't answer. Are you coming downstairs? I asked. No, not yet. His voice was small and tight. Something was wrong here. I wanted to stay, but I didn't know what else to say to him. You see, I've never really just sat and chatted with my brother. I always just fought with him. So I left and bumped into Rima. Harry's back, I said. Rima let out a great sigh of relief, but then she cried, Jamie, there's something you've got to see. I stared at her. Aunt Nora hasn't changed back, has she? Just follow me, replied Rima. And hurry. I followed Rima into the backyard. So what's the big mystery? I asked. Rima pointed. Just take a look over that fence. Then her voice started to shake. But don't let him see you. I knew Mr. Granger could be very scary, but I was surprised to see Rima looking quite so scared. I climbed to the top of the fence and peered into Mr. Granger's backyard. It was always so neat and boring. Then, suddenly, I saw something really incredible. Do you remember earlier in the book, in an earlier chapter, Jamie wished something about Mr. Granger? Take a minute and see if you can think about what he wished Mr. Granger, or what would happen to Mr. Granger. Pause the video and guess, and then I'll read the last sentence. Okay, did you guess right? Let's see. Sitting in a deck chair was a bright green dragon. Stay tuned for chapter 9.